once again, welcome to your famous, your well loved, The Issues Room. Having been away for a little bit on a hiatus, we're back here with this prolific program, tantalizing to make you understand the real issues trending in Liberia, Africa, and the Black diaspora. Welcome all of you, our viewers and listeners all over the world. We say thanks for being there and being patient. We're back here again with another edition, and this time is our 61st edition. We've been having a series of technical problems, but again, that's what happens when you're in the cyberspace. Everyone tries to outrun the other, but you know, you can't ask for more. God is good all the time, and we're back here. Volcano Shelton with you from our Pennsylvania studios, and I have Moses Sandy joining us from Delaware. Good evening, Moses. Quickly, before you say something, I just want to encourage our viewers and listeners. If you're there, please let us know. Come in the chat room, just so we know that we have our audience here tonight. But Moses, man, listen.
Yeah.
We've been away for probably a little close to a month and a half, right?
Yeah, almost 2 months.
Yeah, almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these things happen.
Of course it does. And let me begin first by saying hi to our many viewers and listeners across the world. We always wanted to be back. We miss you a lot. And there were several inquiries. Moses, what's the problem with the issues room? And I'm sure Volcano similar questions were thrown at you. But again, like Volcano said, when you are online cyberspace specifically, a lot of things happen in cyberspace. So we were affected greatly. But we are happy that we have been able to come back big time this time around. Right, Volcano?
Yeah, big time. It's just that with all of the things that took place, we kind of lost a lot of our audience, but again, we'll hope to gain them. Just in case some of you are confused, we are now TI Room on Facebook. That's T.I.Room, and it's still the issues room, because sometimes when you have something already existed, and you're trying to recreate, there's a tendency for you to have to tweak things a little bit. So we had to do a little bit of tweaking just to sustain our platform here on Facebook. And we're also found on YouTube, so YouTube didn't change for us. It was just Facebook, and also on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have one person in the audience right now, is Mapla Nikia, who just signed in, and that's great. At least we have someone who has acknowledged that we are live, and so we're hoping that we can get many more of our viewers. Thomas Awaji, where are you tonight? We are Doe. If you can hear us from somewhere out there, we'd like you to let us know. Theo Sumpon, John Carr Harris, I've
Our
been looking for
man, River
David
says
Davis.
pro. River says pro.
Rivers Pro hasn't responded yet.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna
think
come.
I think he's pushing his hours. I try to make contact with him for a little while now,
Mhm.
but haven't heard back from him. So, but it's all new territory for every one of us here. The fact that things changed, as it stands now, we are going up again, trying to get our followers, and hopefully the word will spread. Others will share on their pages, others will like us, others will follow us, and hopefully we can get things going again. But
Oh
yes,
yes.
the momentum is not going to die, Moses.
No, it's
We
not.
have so much to talk about uh, in the coming months as we approach early next year into the electoral season. You can imagine what's going to happen right now with the political climate in Liberia. So many things happening, and as it stands now, we don't know who's really in charge. Politically, we know we have a president. Mr. Weah is in power, but his oppositions, we really don't have a definitive answer, and a
As to
stand
who
out
is who. Yeah.
candidate
Mhm.
right now, because the water has gotten muddy politically, and so it's hard to determine yet. But the Liberian people will be the judge.
Yeah, I agree. 2023 will be a competitive year in Liberia. The opposition, let me just throw this in quickly while we talk this. The Supreme Court, Associate Justice, one of the Associate Justices has ruled that on Friday, the Supreme Court will supervise. Yomli Kanga has one branch of Labour Party, and the controversial Musa Belede is chair of another breakaway group of Labour Party. So there has been this legal tussle in terms of who is who. So this matter is currently before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court met. Associate James, I think James Ethel Howard, you know, she ruled that the Supreme Court was supervised because she gave a directive that there need there need to be some changes in the constitution. Young Bleak Group is saying that hey, they went to Banga, they made a decision, they agree that hey, amendments were made, and those amendments must be reflected in the constitution. And Mr. Bennett said he made the amendments without the involvement of Yombly and her other supporters. So right now, the Supreme Court said, okay, you come here Friday, we will supervise the process. So let's see how it goes on Friday. You know, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, so many things happening. But again, Thomas Awaji just signed in. He said excited to see you guys back.
good,
Thank you, Thomas. Man, listen, you're one of our pillars, and we
definitely.
can't do this without your support. So we encourage you to share the link,
Mhm.
reignite the flame for us, because it's been a little while, but
Yes, man.
again, like we said, can't do this without many of our viewers and listeners out there in the world. We also encourage, our discussants like James Coyen, John Yamin Jr., Dane Wilson, all you guys. We're back. So don't hesitate to reach out to the Issues Room family, because we got a whole lot to talk about. So Moses, tonight we wanted to just talk about my trip to Liberia
Yeah,
briefly, and then we can look at one or two other things. We might be here for an hour or an hour and a half. It just boils down to
what
where
the
the
issue?
conversation goes, and when we open the lines, depending on how many callers we receive. So again, if you just join us, welcome to the Issues Room. Volcano Shelton here in Philadelphia, and Moses Sandy in Newcastle, Delaware. We broadcast 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. in Liberia, and that's on Tuesdays and Fridays of each week. So this is our 61st edition. We just resumed after a brief hiatus, and it's good to be back. And we encourage you, Emmanuel Sumbo. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you in the house tonight. So I went to Liberia in March, early March, and returned in May, late probably just about the start of the second week of May. Well, Liberia is Liberia, Moses. The good, the bad, and the
So,
ugly.
so look, we gotta do this in segment. Give us a graphic look at Liberia from the perspective of the issues room. I know you can do it effectively.
So the
Take
issues
it
room
home.
arrived. The issues room arrived in Liberia, and I told you that. I
Yeah,
think we had a show, if you recalled, where we talked about the health protocol at the airport, and
yeah.
I was very, very surprised that it was very decent,
Oh
decent
wow.
enough that the process went well. That
Okay.
was then, so I don't know, but the exit process also went, I mean, well,
What did
compared
you
to
notice
in the
happening
past.
at the airport when you arrived?
No, like you said, like I said, you
In terms
remember
of
we had a
the
discussion, but
COVID, yeah, in
yeah.
terms of the
Um,
COVID
so you
protocol.
arrive at the airport.
Mhm.
We didn't use the jet bridge anymore. It's not being used.
Okay.
Uh, in so short a time that the jet bridges now at the arrival and departure are not being used. So we're going back to the antediluvian time when you
Okay.
had to cut the staircase to the plane. So we
Okay.
come down, but we were not walking across the tarmac. We were bussed,
Okay.
to the entrance. And so we get there and we go through this arrival gate and enter into the COVID session. And in the COVID session, you get greeted, you get your temp, to do, you got to be maxed up, and then you go through a corridor and come around the bend and then meet somebody who, take some information from you, just to make sure, because you have pre done this information, uh, bio prior to arrival, so they want to just make sure they look at the technology part
Okay.
of it and that everything was registered when you did it before, getting the country. And so they have, I believe it was tablets in the hands, but it's so much chaos, so you're not really paying attention, but they had something in the hands.
Okay.
And then they check it with your passport, and then you get get taken to the next place, and you pay your $75 upon arrival, and then you go on the other side, paperwork, you get it into where you're going to be tested, and you go in there and they do the nose swab, and then you come back out and you sit in the wait area while they look at the information regarding the result, and within 15 minutes or so, another group calls you at another window, and then they give you a result. If it's negative, then you take the piece of the receipt from the payments and the result, and you go to another girl who takes that document from you and leave you with one payment slip. So
Okay.
now you're clear, and then when you come out, then you meet with the guys on the yellow book.
Okay. That's
So you haven't
immigration,
gotten to
right?
immigration yet.
Oh yeah, health. Yeah, health.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're
Okay.
dealing with
Yeah.
all the health protocols. So just in case if you are positive, then they can wheel you away and put you in isolation or so. And then
Okay.
after that process, you go to the guys with the yellow book. If you didn't have your yellow book, then you'll be obligated to pay for it there and be vaccinated, and before get out to immigration.
Okay.
And then at immigration, you get your carry on checked, and you go
Mhm.
through the checks, and then you come out to baggage claim,
Okay.
and take delivery of your bag. But at baggage claim, that's where the chaos begins,
Why?
because
No
everyone,
structure. No
no
structure in
structure,
place.
no structure. It's just crazy. The heat, and everyone is juggling, looking for their bags, and
Wow.
unfortunately, Air France screwed up everything, and we were there for almost 3 hours. They had our bags, and the way they packed the bags from Europe, I believe, they put us who were arriving in Liberia earlier, before the other folks who were leaving from Liberia to go, I believe, Sierra Leone or Gambia. They
Hmm.
put their bags before our bags,
Hmm.
and I guess they wanted to meet their time, so they wanted to take off and leave us undone, and then
Yeah.
try to flight our bags on another trip or so.
Oh.
And the noise that came out, it was not easy. So they had to go back out there, talk to the guys, and they had to take everything down to find our bags. And then fortunately we got our bags. And then
Okay.
you come out of the airport, you finally meet up with uh folks still out there, and then you get your ride, and here you are riding
Okay.
along a dark Roberts International Highway. And I say
Okay.
dark. Not one street light on that road, except for the few people who using generator with businesses near the road. But that time of the night, people are going to bed. A lot
Yeah.
not happening except in as you come closer to Monrovia. But on the highways, it's pitch black dark, and the road is being fixed. So if you're not careful, you could really have a very serious fatal
Motor
accident.
accident.
Yeah, so people got to be very careful, and then you get to Morovia, and that's the night. So,
And
and
so
so
that
that
was
was, that was
that was morning hours, right? When you
no, no,
arrived.
no, no, no. You can leave the airport anywhere around 11, high 11 into midnight, depending on
And
the process.
and
And so by
then
the time you get to town, you could be 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
and then driving on the Ravel Street Highway 11, 12 o'clock. I mean 10, 11 o'clock is very, very terrible. That's
yeah,
what you're saying, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so you
Okay.
get to town, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's past the night, and the next day you wake up to the bustling horns by 5 o'clock in the morning. 5:30, everyone juggling and rushing, and so morning starts that early. People trying to get to work.
So why
Those
do they have
people,
to leave that early? Huh? To
because of
to go to work?
traffic. By traffic, Moses, you got only one way in and out. A
Okay.
lot of people use the Tubman Boulevard. They don't use the other side, meaning the Somalia Drive. They don't use
Okay.
that side. Everyone
Okay.
so programmed to use the Tubman Boulevard. And
Okay.
so then the people who got to be in town as early, they
Mm-hmm.
try to beat the traffic. So some
Okay.
people work in the private sector, so they're held accountable to be to work on time compared to government officials,
Yeah.
government employees who just drag their feet and go to work and get paid. So people leave so early and get to town, and by 8 o'clock, 8:30, my brother coming from Painesville to town,
Mm-hmm.
it's about 3 lanes, sometimes 4 lanes. There's no systematic way of people driving. Everyone making their lanes, motorcycles all over the place. And I have never seen motorcycle this much in Liberia. And after, doing my underground investigation and talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
do you realize how porous our borders are? Many of the guys coming from neighboring countries to ride motorbike in Liberia, Guineans and guys from Sierra Leone, they're coming to Monrovia
So
because
help me
they want
understand.
to make they want to
Help me
make the profit.
understand. Help me understand that, Vakana. Don't we have security personnel deployed along the borders?
Well, my brother, what you know how many things happen at the border? The man tell you say he lives along the border. He can convince you he has a motorbike. He said, just going right to the next village. And the
Okay.
man in Maria. The
Hmm.
man in Maria. But not only those guys coming leaving the borders and riding, how about the guys who live in the interior and coming to town?
To
And
ride
and
motorbikes.
they've never raided in the town. They've never raided in the town. And so as a result, that's why you have all these fatalities. Because they're not used to, the kind of city traffic. And you
Okay.
can see when you tell the guy where you're going, he say, I'm going outside before, and I run that wheel. But then you can hear his accent.
Oh,
He's trying to
yeah.
practice, and then he
Yeah,
said,
the
no,
elaborate
that ain't
English.
correct.
Yeah.
That ain't correct. So
Wow.
so as a result, the motorcyclists are taking over Liberia, and nothing's been done. I spoke with a police guy at Congo Town, back road intersection. I was going to Pingsville, and these kids were coming, like 5, 6 of them, directly head on me, expecting me to move out of the road because
Yeah.
they got right away. As I will put it, they
But
crossed over the double yellow line.
how could that be?
That's what I'm
You
saying.
in vehicle?
They
Yeah.
cross over the double yellow line,
Yeah.
which you shouldn't cross over, and
Hmm.
riding into the opposite direction, coming toward me.
Wow.
That's how dangerous it is. And make a mistake and hit one of those guys, Moses, or let them make a mistake and hit you. You wrong.
So even when they hit you,
You're wrong.
you still become a victim.
Oh yeah, you're wrong.
When you
They're,
hit
they're
them,
never wrong.
then when you hit them, the situation is completely terrible. When they hit you, I mean, there's no way out. That's what you're saying, right?
There's no way out.
So
I
then,
told
what
you.
happens to the police officers that we have, plying the streets of Monrovia? Where are they?
What do you mean plying the street? Plying in what?
What
In
don't
what?
we have officers that patrol?
Moses, I saw one American police car and two LMP pickups. The LMP pickups, instead of them serving the public, they're serving government officials. They're the ones leading convoy for senators and so forth.
So they leave the traffic unattended
Yeah.
and instead escort public
Oh yeah.
officials to work.
Yeah. I mean, it's practical truth. Police officers standing around, literally doing nothing. And as I said, I was talking to a police guy when that thing happened with those guys coming on me, and I asked the guy, I stopped the car, and I walk up to him and I introduced myself. And he said, "Oh, I remembered you from back in the day on the radio. When you came," I said, "Well, man, I've been here a little bit now." I said, "But what's going on? Why these guys would do stuff like this?" And then the guy said to me, "My brother, there's nothing we can do. These people run this town, and it's all because of votes. I'm telling you, this. These are the worst coming out of police officer. There's nothing we can do. These people run this town all because of votes.
So the
And
police feel
went on to
the
say, he
Mhm.
went on to
Yeah,
say,
they are
when you
powerless.
when you arrest one of them and hold them,
Mhm.
you will receive a call. He said many of these government officials, they
Mm.
have 30, 40, 50 motorbikes running in the traffic that are side geek.
Wow.
So they're running commercial businesses. So they threaten these guys. So these guys have no power to do anything. But then he went on to say, my man, I only wear the uniform to kind of hustle for my full money to take care of my family. Whatever they do, at least if I carry my little small thing home, my day is good. So can you
Wow.
imagine that? Moses, can you
Lawlessness.
imagine that? And this is
That's
not fallacy. This is,
no.
I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to badmouth the country or badmouth the government. This is
It's
just the
just
practical
like
truth.
nobody seems to be in control,
This is just the practical truth.
right? It's like nobody seems to be in control of anything.
Nobody cares. I think that's the key word. Nobody cares. People hold positions to be in control,
Mhm.
but they don't care in terms of implementing the statutory rights given them through the legal process of the law that provides, you know, the means for them to be able to do their jobs. They have reached a point where they don't care.
What you see, it just further reconfirm what Antonio Kofi Woods, the human rights advocate, um, he spoke last weekend in Texas, just as the same volcano. He told Liberians, especially former students and graduates of St. Patrick's and St. Teresa Convent, they had a 27 homecoming, and he was there as a keynote speaker. Just as you are seeing, he said, "Look, Liberia is sick. Liberia is ungovernable. Lawlessness has taken over the country with impunity." Just as you are saying.
Moses, I mean, I lived it for the 2 months I was in Liberia. I lived it, and every day my skin crept. Every day my
Mhm.
blood boiled. Every
Wow.
day I had to use profanity to get my way out. I had to be like them every day.
So anyone who tries to do the right thing, I think things become real difficult for you, especially in the
Absolutely.
traffic. Like you and I were driving,
Oh yeah.
we know that hey, we have to maintain, our lane. You have to observe traffic lights, and all of that. Get to stop sign, and the guy will just run into you. That's what you're telling me.
I'm telling you it because it is the fact. And it seems as though they just copy from government officials. Those guys just come with a convoy and force you out of the road. And right now with the road work going on, we
Mhm.
barely can find any shoulders
Wow.
from the whole ERW all the way toward the red light.
Yes.
Because those roads were not very even, so they're trying to dig them and I
Yeah.
guess resurface the whole thing, break it up, and probably do a whole new,
Yeah. Rebuild.
layer of road.
Mhm.
And so it's so bad, and it's narrow, and people still force their way. The keke, the pen. I mean, the thing is so chaotic that if you driving and you want to make a turn and somebody gives you way, you turn it left. The keke or the motorbike man will come on your left to cut you off.
Wow. That's very
You got the
dangerous.
left turn signal on.
And the guy
The man
is
doesn't have no left turn
driving.
signal,
The guy is cutting you off.
even though the oncoming traffic has given you way
They go ahead.
to make
Yeah.
a turn. And the guy will not come on your right. He will come on your
No.
left to cut you when you turn in.
And cut you
And
off.
then say, you stupid, why you won't hit me? Moses, Liberia finish.
You know.
Liberia finish. A serious thing I'm telling you. And it's not finished. When we use the word finish, we're not saying that the country
Yeah. I mean,
is over.
absolutely. There's no
We're just talking
leadership.
about the lack of governance, the lack of rule of law. It
Yeah.
has gotten so, so, so bad.
And what you say, Volcano? That's why Kofi was, described as Liberia having an executive that has no compass to lead.
Hmm.
So basically, the guy is telling us that nobody seems to be in control of anything. You have a president who is completely disengaged. He has no clue what is happening around here. Rule of law completely broken apart. This is sad. These are the reality. These are things that when you talk about, people say, "Oh well, you guys are too critical of Mr. Weir. You guys are too critical of Mr. Weir." But here, Liberia needs a leadership. And what is happening, based on what you said, based on what Kofi said, Liberia has a leadership deficit.
And this is not all that's happening. You're talking the traffic and you're talking the lawlessness, but
Yeah,
you're also talking about the hardship. You're talking
yeah.
about cost of living.
Help us
You're
learn
talking
a
you're
bit
talking
about
about
that. The
price.
hardship for
Yeah,
Canada, the
the
hardship.
prices in the market. And this government just seemed to not give a crap. They're
Okay.
not doing well with respect to giving sustenance to the people in any way.
Mhm.
But the government just depends on high tariff, and this is the way the government goes. And the businesses are telling you they're being killed, and so as a
Okay.
result, the ordinary
They're
people are the
passing
ones.
on to the ordinary people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they overcharge. Yeah. So,
Hold on, Moses. Thank you,
mhm,
Thomas.
mhm.
Awaji, thank you so much for sharing with those guys. He said River says Pro is blocked and cannot come in, and even
Okay.
Sam Bondo. But they're watching us tonight. So thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you for sharing. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So, the question I wanted to ask, most of our people don't have that earning power. So, at 25, I'm told they have 25 pounds bag of rice, right? At
That's
25
that's the that's the,
pounds,
that's the main rice being sold.
yeah. So, at 25 pounds bag of rice of a kind of, if you were to convert that in US dollars, how much would that cost?
So while I was there,
Yeah.
there was a professed rice crisis that was imminent, and
Okay.
so President Weah went around and met with the importers, and he
Hmm.
went to the warehouse.
Hmm.
Apparently, people were creating this alarm so that they could raise the rice price.
Yeah.
Same thing that happened in '79 with the rice riot.
Hmm.
So apparently, he was smart enough to immediately address it because there were whistles around the town.
Hmm.
So he goes to the warehouse and he has the rice. So I think they came out to an agreement where the rice would be sold for $13, and
Okay.
then on the outside it would be sold for 13.50. But even at that, there were people who were still selling it at $15. The justification, because I talked to a few businesses in the Painesville area,
Hmm.
when I just did it out of curiosity, say how much your rice, and the
Yeah.
guy tells me, oh, my rice is 14.50, and I said, but why? The president said the rice should be sold at maximum at least
Yeah,
13.50.
1350.
So
Yeah.
why are you guys selling? He said, listen, when we get over there, they will still got a bribe. We got to transport from all the way Freeport to come on this side and da 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 da. So we can't sell the rice for that price.
I
And it
think
was reasonable.
I mean that's quite reasonable. I
Yeah.
almost said the same thing for
Yeah.
Canada because if this guy is going to buy 2-3 bags of rice and you have to spend almost extra $20 to bring that rice to Tumpo Village to sell, what do you expect him to do?
Yeah. So
You
so the
know?
rice
Yeah.
at maximum should be $15. Then the
Okay.
other commodity that went crazy was the gasoline.
Okay.
Gasoline, when I got that, gasoline was like 465, 475 US dollars a gallon.
Okay.
And then within I believe it was 3 or 4 weeks,
Mhm.
they had a gas shortage.
Okay.
Everywhere was crazy. And then right after, the Commerce Ministry came out and brought a new price
For
for gas to
gasoline?
be $5.65,
Okay.
and that was the new price. And all of a sudden, gas just flooded the
The
gas stations
market.
again.
Okay.
So just before I left, gas came down to $5.10, and then I was just seeing in the news they had a serious gas shortage again, and people are buying gas $900 Liberty, $1,000. But during
So
that shortage, people were buying gas 1 gallon of gas for 1,500 Liberty, which
when you
was
were there then,
yeah,
right?
which was about $10 per
Okay.
gallon
Okay. Okay.
for that short 3 or 4 days of shortage.
It
Yeah,
was $10 per gallon.
because people were buying the people. What people were doing, they were buying it from the gas station because
Yeah,
you would only be entitled to just how
few
much.
gallons. Yeah,
Yeah, and then those guys go out there on the street and sell it at maximum one thousand five
$10.
hundred because some people just couldn't go stand in line all
Yeah,
day and then leave away with nothing. So they'll just make the sacrifice to get back and forth. They'll buy the gas for $10, 1,500. So if you're lucky, you buy 10 gallons. That could stretch you, for a little
for a
bit.
couple of days. Yeah,
But the
depending
other
on.
thing is the gas is so substandard and cheap. Moses, the gas don't even do you well. I
Okay.
was I was burning from Pinsville, from Cinco to Pinsville. It's
Mhm.
about 6-7 miles.
Okay.
But I could only come one way and then stop around Boulevard going back, 1 gallon gone. So I was burning
Wow.
like 10 miles to a gallon, 10, 11
Yeah.
miles to a gallon. And
Yeah.
I'm talking on a 4 cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
because
and, and
the gas is so cheap.
it's
It's
low
great.
quality.
And then the people don't service cars over there like that. So all of those things impact how the gas burns.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then again, another reason for the gasoline, going so fast is the traffic congestion. And,
Oh
you're
yeah,
in the traffic, yeah,
get it right.
forever.
Yeah, because you're sitting there for
Yeah, you're
hours.
sitting there and you're running
Um,
the engine.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So, but can you help us learn a bit about the healthcare sector in Liberia? What did you notice in terms of healthcare?
Simo, man. Simo. People complain, no drugs. People get sick. In fact, I was sick in Liberia big time, but I just went with our usual remedies.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of medication from the pharmacy, but I did more of our
African herbs.
stuff
Okay.
to get well. But a lot of people, can't afford to go to the health facilities because even the public health facilities are charging money. If you don't have the money, you don't get treated. And sometimes when this is a true story where women have the babies and they hold them, you know, like they're held for ransom. you know,
Oh, really?
they hold them until they declare the hospital bill.
So
Yeah.
if the family cannot afford, then what happens?
They're dead. They're dead.
Wow.
I mean, a woman goes to deliver, she carries everything, everything,
Oh man.
everything. Nothing the hospital barely provides. From the Clorox to clean, from the
So
toilet
the so
toilet
the
tissue,
so the hospital only providing the structure
yeah, and the
and
delivery
the staff.
and the delivery.
So you have to take literally everything with you.
Everything is like you going on boarding school. You know how you carry all your what do you call it, your chop box, your chop box with everything.
So
You
man,
know.
when you cause trouble in that time, man, you got to start stacking this job house.
Yeah. Except the private places where probably they may provide some of those those incentives, but other than that, but man, listen, our country is out of place,
Okay.
and it only requires a person or persons
Yeah.
with the good heart, not people who want to get rich. Moses, let me say this emphatically here tonight, and all of you viewers and listeners, I want you to hear this from me. The person or persons who would change Liberia are not people who want to get rich, are people who are already somewhere in their lives and it just mean well for the country.
Yeah.
Not bunch of boys who are passing around with shoes leaning and then they're now holding ministerial positions. The first thing they want to do, build a
Bill
big house,
Marston's, yeah.
stack up their closets with coat suits and travel the world and have good fat bank accounts.
Yeah.
Those are not the people you want.
I agree.
You want real people who have been there and done that.
Mhm.
People who have track record of where you look all through space, you can't find anything on them when it comes to corruption. People who have served diligently, compassionately, committedly in the roles that they held. Not people who never held a position and then you put them to manage people. It's not
I agree.
possible. And
I
manage
agree.
resources. These are
I
the
agree.
people who would not care, and that's what we're faced with. If even we had good intention, He's already corrupt.
Extremely.
He's already corrupt. And no
It's,
Liberian can tell me they don't see it,
yeah, Mr. Weir.
particularly with what's trending and what is happening around he and his boys. No one can tell me they don't see it. So it requires a person or persons who have been there and done that, who have accumulated the wealth, and they just want to mean well for the country.
I agree.
So that's where we are, Moses.
I agree. What you said, national service, like you said, is not for individuals who want to get rich overnight. It's about providing service to your people. People who have the passion. It's for nationalists. Unfortunately, in today's Liberia, and what we're talking about volcano, is it's not unique to only Liberia. I think it's an African problem. You go to other African countries, you find the same problem. But that does not in any way justify that, hey, what is happening in Liberia, our people should look the other way. We want our people to do the best. But our African leaders are a, a greater extent of our African leaders are extremely corrupt.
So let
You,
me just. I was listening to a podcast on Ablegia TV,
yeah.
and there was a guy who was talking about Weah has built 50 mansions. He has real estate all over the country. But when you hear those things, right?
Hmm.
Do you know the very Liberians can justify and say, "Oh, but at least he's not taking it outside"?
Yeah, but those people are speaking from out of ignorance. They don't know what a rise are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are speaking out of
The
ignorance.
guy was seeing his 20 year
Hmm.
of political, I mean, rather professional soccer
Soccer.
career.
Hmm.
He didn't do anything. He built one 9th Street house and an
Yeah.
old school nightclub on Kerry Street. I passed
Hmm.
before the spot
Hmm.
while I was there, and I reflected because
Yeah.
I remember when he used to come down, and the guys all they do just go and have fun at old school. And the guy was saying these things, and he said, but since this president came to power, he's done XYZ all for himself.
Hmm.
And the Liberian people, many of them would say, oh yeah, it's good that he did it because he's not taking it outside. It's here. It will be here for us.
But Volcano, unfortunately, most of our people, when they speak on these issues, this, like I said earlier, they speak out of ignorance. They don't even know what a rise at. And like you said earlier, when Mr. Weah ascended the presidency of Liberia, we saw his first project, the condominiums, the demolition of the 9th Street residence. When Liberian raised the alarm, he said, "Oh, the resident is mine. The construction was undertaken by his son." And his son went public and said, "No, Mr. President, no, Dad, I'm not doing that." And the executive mansion came out to clarify. We have Jamaican resort, and and there are other things that he's doing. Uh, all of these projects is undertaking under dubious circumstances, and don't augur well for his leadership. Look, our politicians are very quick. They're quick to forget. They don't reflect. Go to Zredru today. All the wealth that Samuel Kayando accumulated, where are those properties? The wealth Mr. Charles Taylor accumulated in Liberia illegally, the properties accumulated over the years, where are they? The properties Willen Ara Toba accumulated, go to Bentor. Where are those properties? Our people they don't reflect. They're quick to forget. Mr. Weah, how long are you going to be president? Let's assume that you even win 2023 and you become, and all the Liberian people gave you another 6 years. 2029, you will not be president again. Then what happens to all the properties accumulated? you will be held accountable. All of these guys will be held accountable. And unfortunately, Volcano, these people are doing it at the same time, playing hypocrisy. Look at what they did to Brownie Samuka. Let me give you an example on that. Brownie Samuka was prosecuted. He was denied the opportunity of taking his seat in Lofa County because the government claimed he misapplied monies for AF soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia. The money was allegedly misapplied by Mr. Samuka. Mr. Samuka said he acted on what? A presidential directive. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did not go to his aid. She looked the other way and he was prosecuted. Now, what do we have happening in Liberia? The Royal Fund. The Royal Fund. In 2016, when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was president of the Republic of Liberia, the legislature passed a law that levied 35 cents on every gallon of gasoline sold in Liberia. When Mr. Weah became president in 2018, the collection started. So in recent time, the GSA did an audit from 2018 to 2020, 2 years. The Liberia Revenue Authority raised more than $53 million from the Royal Fund. The money, instead of being deposited as created under the Act, the Royal Fund Act, that money should have been deposited into the account of the Royal Fund, for Royal Fund projects. Money raised for rehabilitation of roads and road construction and all of that. Instead of depositing the money into that account, how much did the finance ministry deposit into the account? Instead of depositing the $53 million, according to the GAC audit report, the finance ministry deposited less than that. $24 million went missing. Samuel Tuet, the Minister of Finance. These are the people who persecuted Brownie Samuka. He said, oh, well, the government used the money to pay his salary. Isn't that misapplication? Isn't that misappropriation?
See, man, who took $25 million for mop-up exercise?
Mop-up exercise. They use, and before government can go and, if there's a need for any monetary transaction or to move money around, especially with such expenditure, it has to go through the legislature. And the man said he was only talking to what? The chairman, members of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee at the legislature.
Is that person?
But there are no legal documentation that shows.
Is that person a sedition?
Of course, the speaker is a citizen.
No, the Ways and Finance person.
I don't know, but the speaker is a citizen. Chambers.
Oh, I know.
The pro tem also comes from the CDC. So these people, according to Tuet, they had gentlemen talk and they gave directive. Yes, use the money. Use the money. Allegedly, according to Tuet, use the money. $24 million, according to the GAC audit report, is now what? MIA. But these are the people that prosecuted Brownie Samuka. For what? Close to $4 million, right? That's what Samuka was prosecuted for. Don't you see a correlation between the two?
There is a correlation.
There is.
And it's just unfortunate, Moses. When we say
hypocrisy.
Yeah. And one of the things I believe Liberia doesn't deserve all that is happening to it.
No.
And that is why you and myself and many other good, well-meaning Liberians will continue to talk. People say, oh, you're criticized, your talk, where's your solution?
Yeah.
Our solution, we've proffered some solutions to
A
the
lot.
problems in Liberia. When people do wrong,
We speak to them.
you handle them.
Mhm.
So if you handle Brownie Samukai for
Then you
$4 million, you should be handling Mr. Samuel Tua for
Samuel
another
Toure.
$4 million
Mhm.
and for $25 million.
Mhm.
That's a lot of money these boys are putting in their pockets.
Yeah. And the boys are building
These
mansions
boys,
all over the
these boys
place.
just printed $1,000 bills.
Mhm.
You can't see the money.
Mhm.
I was in Liberia. You
Hmm.
could barely see the $100 bills they just printed. The money
Wow.
in Liberia is so rotten that they don't they you they're giving you the money. They
Mhm.
had to take your US dollars. They're clean, but they can't get you good money.
Wow.
They can't get you good money. There's no $5 note in Liberia. The $10 note scarce, but all rotten. The $20 note becoming very rotten. The $50 note, few good ones and plenty rotten. The $100 note, few good ones and plenty rotten.
So the money they printed
The
recently,
money they
what
recently printed, they
denomination did
only
they
put
print?
few on the market. Few, just small on the market, just a teaser. And that money was supposed to be out there for Christmas and all. Just
Mhm.
a teaser.
Mhm.
Why these
Wow.
people are acting like this to this country?
This is unfortunate,
Because the
man.
Liberian people are fatigued with
Violence.
uprising and war
Mhm.
and what have you.
Mhm.
Is this the reason why?
That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Because this kind of massive corruption cannot happen in many parts of the world.
No.
And it's so glaring, it's so open that people don't give a crap. In some places people surreptitiously do corruption. But in Liberia, it's just open. I mean, can you imagine assistant minister, just appointed, got house, got car, got everything? What you
Yeah.
and myself, professionally, our salaries here, if we're making it in Liberia, you can say yes, it's
Yeah.
possible
Oh, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
on our salaries.
Of
But compared
course.
to those guys,
Yeah,
so
some.
everybody just on the cut end, the cut. I get my cut, I get my cut, I get my cut. What's supposed to go to government coffers not going to government coffers.
It's all about self. It's about self. It's about self. It's about self.
So Moses,
Yeah.
we at intermission, we want to say our lines are open tonight. Call 404-272-2808. 404-272-2808. Um, let's just talk if you want to join us on the conversation here tonight. But in the meantime, honestly, we just got back from a short being
It,
away
it
off
was a
the air.
compulsory break.
Yeah, so we're back, and honestly, we
Uh,
we at our 61st edition. So Friday we'll be coming back. We can't disclose the show yet because we're still working behind the scene uh, to formulate something that we'll be presenting on Friday. But in the meantime, just share the link, invite others to join us here in the issues room. This is the place where we alternatively talk about the issues trending in Liberia, Africa, and the Black diaspora. We cover politics, religion, sports, entertainment, education, health, human rights, freedom of the press, and freedom of speech. Um, just about anything. We'd like to engage you. We'd like you to be a part of us. We want you to join us and let's have these kinds of conversation. Our country is a place where so much is going on. We say the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we want to talk about the ugly and the bad.
yeah.
We're positive about the good. We can still talk about the good, but if it didn't break, don't fix it. Let's talk
Absolutely.
about the things that we've broken and how we can go about fixing them, Moses. We are in
Absolutely.
very troubled times.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question of kind of let's talk a bit about entertainment. How is it in Monrovia? I'm asking this question because I have, my daughter is in Liberia, and I was on the phone with her, and I couldn't hear her as she was talking because there was loud music and she was at home. So I said, well, patient, why can we have a conversation? It's so loud in the background. And she said, well, dad, there's an entertainment place closer to where we live. And these people, they play loud music all night. So, Volcano, you were in Monrovia. What did you see in terms of, entertainment and how these people are treating our people?
Look, Moses, everywhere is a spot. Everywhere is a spot. People are
Okay.
having, matter of fact, people are now breaking walls on their homes to turn to turn the room on the outskirt that's
Yeah.
facing the street into a business
Entertainment?
center. Yeah, into a shop. Into a shop. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
people are literally breaking rooms
So,
that are
everybody
facing the
is into
street.
business now.
So everybody's selling. And my joke is, if everybody's selling, who buys from who?
Uber.
You know. And honestly, drinking spot is everywhere.
Okay.
It's no secret. Uh, and they're all doing the same thing.
Okay.
Um, uh, you and myself sitting next door. We say hello, hello. You selling your own beer. I selling my own beer. You got your own customer. I got my own customer. We all sit down right here. We play our music, competing with each other,
Competing with music,
making
right?
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, liquor is expensive, but
Okay.
where do people take the money from to buy it? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. Every day, people are drinking club beer, Guinness, Heineken. Um, they got the local liquors made. And you remember Nikon Distillery?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still making the stuff. They
This
got some.
Nakon's still there, right?
Yeah, they got some. They got some fake ones there that they create all this all right around.
Okay.
Like the Godfather. They got
The
they got one
Godfather.
that called Godfather. They got one called Excellent.
Okay.
They got one called uh I mean they got one now called Power Play is the local energy drink that is made by what's it, Seti Brother, because Seti Brother is now the sole manufacturer and distributor of Coca-Cola products.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Coca-Cola factory is no more.
Oh,
So
wow.
they got a little small rubber bottle.
Yeah.
That's where he does Fanta, uh, Sprite, ginger ale. No, Sprite, not ginger, it's Sprite.
Okay.
Um, Coke,
Hmm.
Power Play. So all the guys who drink the local liquor from Nikon Distillery, they want to dilute it with Power Play. And
Hmm.
the boys who like doing construction work, that's
Yeah.
why every day when I get there, Chief, wow, thing, so that they will liquor. That's how I know the cocktail. So they got the Power Play and they mix it with a Godfather, or they mix it with some of
Yeah.
the other local uh, drinks there.
Yeah.
But everybody's drinking, man. Everybody's drinking. And then you got a few upscale places where the liquor is expensive. You go in the supermarkets,
Hmm.
a bottle of what you pay here for 29-30 bucks, they're
Yeah.
selling it for $60 to $70 there. So they double the profit. Uh
Wow.
yeah. Or just a small bottle of Jack Daniels that
Hmm.
you will pay probably $23 to $25 for the small bottle. They'll
Yeah.
sell it there for like $50 to $55. So, and I went in these places just to see and make price comparison. So alcohol is very expensive in Liberia, especially the imported ones. And then the
Okay.
local ones like Club Beer now. Um, Club Beer in some places $400 for the large bottle, and Guinness is
Okay.
about 350. The least you can pay for a bottle of Guinness is about 280. But the regular Club Beer, the big ones,
Yeah.
are 350 to about $400. Some places $450, depending on the
Yeah.
crowd. Yeah.
Wow.
So entertainment is the way to go. Everybody's doing entertainment.
Everybody is
Everybody,
into some kind of
everybody,
entertainment thing. Yeah.
yeah, everybody feels that that's the way they can sustain. You know, so a lot of people doing liquor selling businesses. Um, Other people would do provision stores,
Okay.
but then there's a lot of competitions again. You know, the most A visible business now in Liberia is building material stores,
Okay.
because most of the corrupt money they're using to buy
Into
material to
construction,
build.
right?
Yeah,
Right,
everybody's
into
doing
construction.
building.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why building material is so expensive in Liberia. So expensive. A load of sand now is about $275 to $300.
Okay.
And they're taking the sand all the way from Codwell. The
And
stop
you're talking
stop
about
dragging.
USD, right?
Yeah, everything is US dollars. Uh,
So now you're
a
talking
load
about
of
USD. How many of those people can afford USD?
What are you asking for, Moses? People got US dollars in Liberia. You'd be
I
surprised.
know, I know people have US dollars,
Yeah,
but
I'm talking about the
given
people who
given
can
the
afford it.
economy. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but you got people who found a way to get money in Liberia.
Okay.
Government
Okay.
officials have their, you know, the
Motorcycles.
people, the people. No, I'm talking about the people who they're supporting. You
Okay.
know, so yes, money is in circulation, um, and people are building. People are building, and a lot of time is the people who can afford. But I'm just giving you prices, so don't let it get caught up.
Yeah.
That is not something that people are still working, and able to pay for.
Okay.
One cubic of crushed rocks, the dump pen, the Caterpillar
Yeah.
dump pen,
Yeah.
$90 now, just one of it. So if you need a truck
Yeah.
load, probably you get five of that to six, in a 10 tire truck. That will
Yeah.
cost you around $600 or $700, because you pay for it, but then you also got to pay transportation. So
Yeah.
that just is the purchase price of the crush
And
rocks.
then you have to pay the
Pay
truck driver to
transportation
take it.
to take it
Okay.
to your destination.
Okay.
So, and then cement been fluctuating, but is now around $9. Some places 850. They got
Okay.
the Cemenco brand and they got the imported brand. Um, but steel rod is so expensive. Um, the so-called 5/8 they have there is the bigger one, which is made by Seti Brother from scrap material they took from all over our dump piles and places in Monrovia.
Okay.
Um, they're selling those steroids for arm and a leg. So building material, honestly, is extremely expensive in Liberia, and most
Okay.
of them are so substandard. You can buy a brand new lock in the box. While installing the lock, the cylinder, the key just turned 360-degree. You can't carry it back. That money is gone. I've
So
changed. I changed about three of the so-called yield lock they have there, because the key just
yeah, you
yeah,
couldn't like just
yeah.
spin it. Yeah. So their system is not like what we have. Yeah, you can go to Lowe's or
Oh yeah,
Home
you can't
Depot.
return anything in
Yeah.
Liberia, man. The only way you would do that, except you have a real good relationship and have been purchasing from this business person for a long time consistently, and then they'll work with you maybe under that circumstance. But like to just go to any store and buy something and then you take it to install it, it's not working, you carry it back. Nobody pays attention to you. There's no protection for consumerism. No protection.
That's
Yeah,
not fair.
yeah, no
That's
protection.
not fair. So I mean, you want to tell me the Commerce Ministry sits in the Monrovia and conclude that for the fact that you went in, you purchase an item, it means it's 100%. Any problem is on you. Can you imagine that?
Because
Porque no, you
because
and I, we
because,
see these things here every time.
because nobody cares. Moses, and I've said this repeatedly tonight. Nobody cares.
That's
The
not
people
fair.
who the people who care are very minimal. They're small in numbers. And those people who care, when they go to effectuate policies and stuff,
Yeah.
they are the ones that look at as the bad guys. Those guys who go in to want to
Mhm.
hold people accountable,
Yeah.
you consider anomaly in the whole corruption,
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So it takes only the other people who are in majority to step on these people and their aspiration to help change the system. And this is not just common to Liberia, like you said. It's systemic across the continent of
Yeah.
Africa.
It's
You
an
know,
African problem.
Yeah, it's a serious problem.
It's a
But a few countries have made progress. A few countries have made progress,
very
and I'm
unfortunate.
sure that we still can do these things. But like I said earlier, it requires a person or persons with good intention, people who have been there and done that, people who not coming to gain wealth, people who have gotten to a place and say, listen, if I can make Liberia like America, we all can go home and enjoy it. But right now, if you're making up your mind to go to Liberia to stay, you can't make it around Monrovia and its environs. You can't. You should be thinking about moving on the highway of Buchanan or on the highway of Ravelsport. You know, you got to move places where you have not to deal with the congestion, the garbage, the noise,
I'm sorry, man. Battery is running low.
you
I don't
know,
know
the
what's going on
hardship,
here. Yeah.
and all these things. So if I have to go back to Liberia to stay, I'm contemplating being on the highway, off the grid, off the grid living.
Mm-hmm.
If I come to town, I'm buying my toiletries and the few things I need, but I want to be off the grid. I want to be somewhere I don't have to deal with nobody and deal with all that noise and chaos. That's the only way you can really enjoy Liberia. The tranquility of Liberia that you and I remembered when we're growing up is gone. It's far gone. My brother, Duper Road Junction, you get to Duper Road Junction from as far as Painesville Town Hall, the road, the traffic, just to cross over Duper Road. And you know what happening?
No.
Because pimping man and just come park the motorbike and just close up the low corridor.
And then you have a powerless police.
You have a
force.
powerless police. All the man do is just lay inside and say, man, let me get my little thing, put it in back in. Hey, keep moving, keep moving. That's it.
Yeah.
The traffic can be avoided if only we regulate.
Yeah.
But
We just
everything is
need
here.
a system.
Here,
We need
W
a-
Junction.
yeah.
The people in the evening, they bring the market. They have come off the sidewalk where pedestrian, they're selling on the sidewalk. They have come off the sidewalk and now on the road itself, on the asphalt, to the point they're probably about 5 to 6 feet on the asphalt of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Then you got to deal with motorbikes. You got to deal with the crap called keke. Then you got to deal with your friend driver. Then you got to deal with the old don't thing. My brother, who want to live in that kind of situation where when you step out, your life is at risk?
Wow.
This is serious stuff. I'm not making this up. And whoever want to disagree, go ahead, disagree with me tonight and tell me if this is not what's happening in Liberia. I was just asking a police officer, I said, wait, so the president is building this Robertsfield Highway. It runs into ELW Junction. And you have turned this place into like a Douala.
Market ground. Yeah, market ground.
Like a Douala. It's a parking station. Everybody parking there. Buchanan. Kakata. The whole place. So all in front of LRA and Eagle and Home Depot. What do you call them? Home Depot? Not Home Depot.
Better?
Oh God,
City
no. What's the building material? City builders. City builders. Yeah, they're like the prime. They're like comparable to Home Depot, high-end stuff.
Okay.
And Eagle Electrical. And all these places, the congestion. They've turned them into parking stations. My man, Moses Liberia, nobody cares. You go to the Boulevard intersection. But let's come forward. Mr. President builds the Invincible Park.
Yes. Oh, yes, you just struck a very salient one. Yeah.
He didn't think on the unintended consequences. So when I broadcasted for about three hours, 2 to 3 hours on ABC FM. I went there to give me the studio, and I was on air. Yeah, I went solo. Yeah. And I was talking about the Invincible Park. Intention is good. Yeah, it's good that he took the initiative to do something. But I don't know if they did thorough feasibility studies and how impactful that park will create more traffic. The park now has created traffic. My brother, this is the new place where everybody going to take their Facebook picture. This is the place where the pimping boys come to park the motorboy by the road. This is the place where all the market people come. They're selling cold water, cool air, donut, all kind of things. When the people leave from that place, because the park closes like 8:30. When they
Yeah.
leave from there, when you see the day, you're afraid.
And there's no system in place to
No
clean the place.
regulations because and I said it on that show that day when I was there on the air
Yeah.
that this is a place where before you even cross to come there, you should be able to pay some kind of little selling fee, like $50 or $100,
Yeah, I'm
you
told that
know.
they are in fact charging fees. Oh, they are charging fees. Yeah.
Who told you they were charging fee? I talking about the people outside.
Oh, okay.
I talking about the
Okay.
sellers who
Oh,
are creating
okay.
all this exterior filth.
Yeah.
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 But I don't know. They said the park was free.
No, the
I heard the
parking said
president say,
they charging now. They charging hourly for practice and all of that. Yeah.
okay, then probably it's for maintenance cost.
Yeah. So
I,
now, but the question here is where does that money go? That's a concern that a
that's
lot
what I
of people
said.
have.
Probably for maintenance cost. Probably for maintenance costs. So, but they should have thought it through before, rushing to um, do this. And honestly, the intention again was good, but they didn't calculate some of the things that would have come out. So one of the things, as I said, is the diet that you know is the diet that the folks are bringing there, the congestion. Motorbikes now that's the new uh, parking ground because they want to pick up some of the people who go there who don't have vehicle, and they would need to fetch ride to get to the destination. Um, then you have people constantly crossing because now there's a big reason to cross the road and all of that. So there's a whole new traffic. So now you got Old Road intersection, coming from the old road where Ellie Mills Scarborough, the former junior high school, and then you got Vamoma House, and then here you create the Invincible Park traffic. So that's hours between those 3 points before you can cross. If you're lucky on good days, you will be lucky, but morning hours, going to town, evening hours coming from town, and sometimes in the early afternoonish, that's serious stuff. And honestly, they didn't think about it. And here we are, more traffic, more traffic. The other thing that was supposed to talk about was the flooding the other day at the Invisible Park. When the park was built and opened, we had very good sunshine. Here we are in the serious rainy season, and you and I know how the rains can really do damage to Liberia. The homes, you can paint your house after one rainy season, it looks like it's never been painted. So from what we heard, there was a major flood on the park. Did it elevate the park itself off the grounds and create a drainage to drain the water? Did it do that? Because a lot of the park is covered with artificial turf. And those artificial turf, I don't know if water can seep through the pores to go into the earth. Because I remember that area, it was never flooded because it was white. I mean, thick sand. So when it rains, the water will recede quickly. But the fact that it tampered with the soil to do construction work there, were probably not considering the engineering aspect of it, and they just went ahead and did this whole project. Didn't give it slope. They didn't do a lot. They didn't contemplate on the potential for flood. This park will probably face this every rainy season, and it may not be utilizable. So there is a potential for this park to really cause further expense, because if they have to remedy some of these uh, unforeseen things that are coming out as a result of not really doing a thorough, detailed feasibility studies, then they have to deal with this in the long run. Could we say it was a waste of public monies? No. Could we say that it could have been done better for long-term sustainability? I would say yes. But sometimes we rush into doing things, um, and we don't pay attention. And most of the projects that President Weah is doing, some of them seem to be too quick fixes, um, without long-term intent. And I think the Invisible Park is one of them. And let's hope that they will be able to remedy it now that these issues are coming up, so early. Somebody asked me the last time what happened to the Bali Island project. They were talking about putting this massive conference center there by the Indian government. We saw ground was broken. Uh, President Weah was calling it Morovia City. I guess this name just came to his lip that day during the ceremony, and he was foreseeing that people would be able to live on that island across from Stockton Creek and ride boats to come through or ferry to come on the mainland, or there will be overhead bridges, there will be high rises. We don't hear anything about that project. Is it because detailed, thorough uh, environmental experts and engineers and geologists looked at the situation and said, wait a minute, this place has to be preserved. These are wetlands, there's swamps. We don't know how much this kind of land can sustain holding, high rise and heavy structure. So that's something we will investigate in the coming months to determine whether this project was killed as a result of that. But from the onset of his leadership, the anticipation was a big conference center, one of the biggest in the country. I believe it was called the Mahatma Gandhi. It was already named because the Indian government was going to do this project. So that's where that project is right now. We don't know what is happening. The next project of the Weah government is the one there at the PHP. We're hearing that they're pushing to have that probably done by the end of the year or into next year. I heard Minister Pui talking about it while I was in Liberia on the radio. They they've they're working there currently right after the uh, opening of the Invincible Park. So I hope they will consider erosion. I hope they will consider that it's right there on the Atlantic Ocean. I hope that they will build, uh, you know, uh, what you would call protection around that whole area. You know, dam. I mean, rather, concrete walls that would protect the erosion and the sea from coming in to do damage. I hope they would do that, and I'm not doubting that they're looking at it thoroughly, but they don't want to have another park that will become useless as a result of poor engineering and poor thinking the process through. Right now, we've missing Moses. I'm not sure what's happening on his end, but again, we weren't sure we're going to be here all night. But he's back. Let me just see if he's comfortable now. Um,
I'm sorry. I had a little bit of a technical glitch here.
all right.
Um,
But I
yeah.
hope you were hearing me. But I've talked about the park, and I've
Yeah.
also talked about the Bali project, the Bali
Okay.
Island project.
Body Adam
Um,
project. Yeah.
yeah, what is happening, we don't know. Probably they got cold feet on it after probably engineers and environmentalists spoke to them that that area should not be tampered with. It couldn't be safe anyway for a major investment. And also, I
Okay.
was just sharing with the last park they're building now at PHP
Yeah.
that they need to focus big time on making sure that it doesn't end up like the Invincible Park with flooding and all of that because
So,
it's built
so
right
they
on
have,
the Atlantic Ocean, right there.
they have already started
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
PHP.
They're anticipating having that park ready by next year. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Okay. I hope all of these constructions are going on with consultation with people who know what they are doing. Because Volcano, one thing you and I will agree on when it comes to Mr. Weir uh, from my own assessment of things that he has done and continue to do in Liberia, most of his decisions are made impulsively. He doesn't think it through.
But Moses, and I'll pause
Yes,
you there. I'll pause you
yes,
there.
yeah.
We are wants to be a forward thinker. We are wants development for his country. And let me
Yeah.
play devil's advocate here tonight for President Weir.
Mhm.
That's what a leader would do. I want to do this.
Yeah.
But when the people say, Paku, you the man, and they don't advise the poor young man,
Mhm.
and he just say, you put the money there. Because when they put the money there, the cut coming, you know, those guys, they're happy for these projects.
Yeah, because they're getting
Moses,
a lot of free money from there.
yes,
Free money.
Moses, these guys are happy for this project, for these projects.
So then it comes back to what you
Let me
said
be honest with
earlier.
you.
You know, Volcano, it comes
Mhm.
back to what you said earlier. The Liberia needs nationalists.
Mhm.
You understand? Not
Yeah.
people who want to get rich overnight. You know, because the thing here is, like you said, sycophancy is one of those things that really drives a lot of things around the president. George Weah is not a technocrat. He wakes up in the morning and he said, "Oh well, I want to do this." And those who are the technicians, uh, they are afraid to advise him, "Hey, Mr. President, if we do this, this is not going to be okay."
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if you are saying in a group as opposing what the president wants, then they see people turn around and go to the president and say, "Mr. President, we told you that man, he like to act like he knows everything."
Yep. Yep. And
And
whereas
that's what happened.
that man is
Yeah.
giving his expert opinion.
As per opinion,
But again, like I said, the president wants to do these things that
Yeah.
is chopping. The
Yeah.
man will not advise the president positively from a more informed engineering, doing thorough
Perspective. Yeah.
feasibility studies to make sure what is doable. They would just say, Baku, you the man, let's do it. Baku, nothing hard for you. The
Yeah.
people like it.
Man, if
You
I
know.
call him El Labro best preso, can you
Yeah,
imagine that?
yeah,
Yeah, man. This is a man who has no clue in terms of what is happening around, and you call him El Labro best preso.
yeah.
Well,
You know.
how do you operationalize that? The man woke up one morning. He said, "Elio, I gave you guys free
Yeah,
tuition," but the university now is struggling to even keep the lights running because it's free education. Tottenham University today is in crisis because
yeah,
John we woke up one morning and said it's free education.
yeah.
You see?
Instead of saying, Mr.
Yeah,
President, credit hour right now
yeah.
at the standard is $10 per credit.
Hmm. Hmm.
So let's do the government pays five and the
People
students
pay.
pay five.
Hmm.
Whatever this we get from the student can subsidize more of what we want to do. But you claim that everything is blah blah blah.
Everything is right.
The
Yeah,
other thing I proposed while I was on the radio there, I said
yeah.
good intention for the president to pay for YF fee. I was going to be grateful when I was in high school that my YF fee
I
was being
I,
paid
I pay
as a
mine.
very
My parent pay mine. Your
yeah,
parent
as
pay
a very
yours.
smart student. I would have
Yeah,
made the president proud of me, right? But
yeah,
you pay for YF fee and 2 million people failing the exam.
yeah.
So why don't you
What
say
could I say?
we pay for all the people who pass?
Yeah.
So you talk to the white people and say, listen, all Liberian 12th graders, 9th graders, whatever graders will take the exams, but we pay for the people who pass.
No, but the thing, the people don't forget that there's a cost associated with printing
No, I'm just saying
those.
we pay for the
Yeah,
people who
no,
pass. So
yeah,
no, so
but
listen,
the point I'm
listen.
making, forget
But Moses, no, the point I'm making too. Listen, every
Yeah.
student will pay for it up front.
Oh,
Those
okay.
students who pass will be
Okay, they will give you
reimbursed.
a refund, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. So,
Then it will
yeah.
increase the competition for
Oh,
people to
yeah.
want to pass.
Yeah. Now that's a good point. That's a
But you
good
just
one.
make and that was one of my
Yeah.
suggestions.
Yeah. That's a good one,
And I'm
Volcano.
seeing it
That's a
here
good one.
tonight again. Those all of the wide fees will
Mhm.
be paid by the students, right?
Yeah.
Up front.
Those who fail.
Those who fail, that your money. Those who pass will reimburse them. Then You were shutting up. You were shutting.
Yeah,
You know, how much you will minimize rather how much you pay for.
for them.
But
Yeah,
why? Then the
yeah,
other monies can be used for something else.
absolutely. I
But we,
agree.
but just like you said, the impulsivity of the president to want to do things from a
Yeah,
positive, and many a
yeah,
time, Moses,
yeah,
I give the credit. It's coming from a positive place. The guy
yeah.
can be laying down. My man, the man are Jaman. So the man laying down and you know, as a Rastafari, something just crossed his mind. He said we
So,
gotta do the one. He called Samuel 12. Yeah.
you said to
Back up
her,
my dream. Yeah. Now tell him again, y'all can see me right now.
yeah, he said, my man, I better ask for all the people on Camp Johnson Road.
Yeah, you know. And then the man, and then they sit on there and then you know he said this is what I want to do. But Paku, they think it work, man.
Yeah, so Who can do it, man.
Yeah, Paku can
So,
do it. Paku ain't
so,
raise the money.
so they add to us some investor. How much we got then? Oh, chief, right now I speak to you. We got some money in there in the row for account. Oh. I can make $10 million available. It's okay, my man. Y'all go ahead, my gay.
Yeah. Then he found a project chairman, project
Yeah,
committee chairman.
tell the people on Ken Johnson Road they must start moving. Next month we build houses for all of them. Everything will be free.
So the other thing, yeah, all of the construction of market building, like
Yeah.
the brand new market in Douala now, the people still don't want to go in the market.
Yeah, because no
They,
structure. No structure.
they don't want to
You
go in the
see,
market.
it's,
Ominga,
it's, it's it's like yeah, volcano, you and I will go to the mall, there are sections. You want to buy sneakers, specific area, you go to. You want to buy ladies wear, specific area, you go to. That how the markets over there supposed to be. All the people who sell dry fish or all the people who
Moses,
sell fish
Moses,
supposed to be in specific area.
Moses,
Yeah. Yeah.
my man.
Mhm.
When the country likes the rule of law.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, Moses,
Mhm.
the people were in the market
Of course.
only on Sundays because of that short market day. You know, like
Yeah.
up to
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
Yeah. They allow them come outside.
Come on,
Yeah.
10 o'clock. Then most
Mhm.
people will come out because it's
Mhm.
quick buy, get home,
Yeah. Go on.
prepare
Yeah.
your food before church or right after church or something.
Yeah.
Today, nobody wants to go in the market. Listen, the brand new market that was built at
Mhm.
Boston Marshall Junction,
Yeah.
Marshall Junction, the market is in the back, empty as I speak to you.
Wow.
Empty.
So all that thousands of dollars
The
just went
market
to
is
waste.
sitting there empty. That market is built in or Shuffling Township.
Mm-hmm.
The people come on the road. They've covered the sidewalk. They've covered the asphalt. That beautiful intersection that we thought was going to be, oh, wait a minute. This is where Morovia is coming.
Yeah.
It's already a country town.
Wow.
It's already looking like somewhere that there's no control.
And volcano level was saying if the marketing association can just say, hey, my man, you're selling coal, you belong here. The people will go there, volcano. Because if you want to buy coal in the other place you have to go there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But nobody is controlling anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody is controlling. Now let's talk a bit about the Zogos. What did you notice about these people? Or these drug addicts, alcoholics. Yeah.
Well, they have the enclaves, they have the hideouts.
Yeah.
One of the famous hideouts was one area that I passed almost every day just to avoid the ERW junction and the Tottenham Boulevard traffic. So I come by the Congo Town back road.
Yeah.
There's a little small road along in the Peloton area, and then it
Yeah.
brings you right back to the sports complex
Mhm.
toward Kingray. And you
Okay.
can cross right through there, go behind. Now they call it Rock Hill. All right. It used to be called ADP area. Back then they had the Ministry of
The
Action
way
for
the
Development
action development. Yeah.
and Progress.
Yeah.
So then you cut through there, it brings you past the motor pool, the
Mhm.
GSA motor pool,
Yeah.
the original motor pool,
Mhm.
where it was that the name GSA Road after. and then that brings you back to GSA Road. So that was my shortcut, even though it was a bad road in some area, but I
Those
use it
days.
as a shortcut. So
Okay.
right there on the beach, in the corner, that's where they have one of the most famous
Hmm.
hideout, and then have another one in Dupo Road. But you can see these guys. I mean, they're out there in the street, and then at night, I try not to be out, and that's when they take the streets.
Okay.
They'll stab you for little or nothing. You hear people every day getting stabbed for cell phone cell phone that is obsolete, like the little number thing,
Yeah.
whatever you got on you and stuff
They
like
take it
that.
from you.
Yeah, so that's what you hear every day. People, being attacked. Oh, the other thing they're doing, they go after motorbike boys.
How do they
They,
do that?
they the man say he wants a ride, and he gets
Hmm.
on the bike, and he tells you to take him to his location,
Hmm.
and he gives you, a hefty payment,
Yeah.
entices you, and not knowing you going into an ambush.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they take that bike and take it probably out of town and sell it.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
so that you wouldn't see that bike again. And the other thing is, almost all the bikes look the same.
Yeah.
So that's another way they're doing things now. So motorbike guys are being killed for the bikes. Motorbike guys are being armed, robbed, ambushed, and all of that. So, but my man, Liberia is a very um
Yeah, but that's
I,
that's
I
that's
I wouldn't say, because if I use the word dangerous, it would be too strong of a word. But just because of people not caring, government doesn't seem to care and to put its foot down.
Mhm.
So Liberia is becoming a dangerous place.
Yeah,
Becoming a
in
dangerous place.
Kofi Wu said it. Kofi Wu, according to Kofi Wu, Liberia is a sick country that needs resuscitation.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
imagine that?
And that can
And
be
and,
done
and this
again
man
amongst
lives
these
in Liberia.
well-meaning Liberians,
Yeah.
well-meaning people who, as I said, don't want to get rich, but people who are servant leaders,
Hmm.
who put people first, who really want to see that country change back to where it used to be. And again, we can get there, but it's just the will, it's just the patriotism, it's just that desire to really be committed to the process, prosecute, hold people accountable, put
Yeah.
the laws on the books, and let the laws work for the country.
That's what Liberia
you
needs.
know and I think we'll be able to accomplish something. But my man, we're out of time. Let's
Yeah.
call it a night.
Okay.
It's twice night back.
Yeah. So it was a pleasure being the TR room with you, Volcano, as always. Uh, those our people will be back on Friday. I know. Um, thanks again. It was a pleasure. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you for being there. All of you, our viewers and listeners tonight. We didn't have a lot of folks here in the chat room. We know that it's like beginning again, but the momentum will soon be
Yeah, sure. We'll
something,
get it.
of the now. So we just want to encourage you to continue to join us, share the page, share the link. Iman and Sumo, thank you for joining us here tonight. Hope you stayed through the conversation. Thomas Hawaji has been extremely helpful in trying to get some of the other folks on. We see Mapla Nikia was here tonight with us. William McDavis Kimi watching from Maryland. And we say thank you so much to all of you guys who were able to just chime me in the chat room through your word here. We say thank you. Again, we'll be back here on Tuesday and Friday, actually, this Friday, and then Tuesday next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Volcano Shelton. Thanks for being with us in the Issues Room. Our new page is TI Room, T.I.Room. So when the invitation comes out to you to become a fan and a follower, please accept and join us here. We hold good conversation. We are the alternative social media platform where we discuss the things that matter. Things that matter not just to Liberia, but to Africa and the Black diaspora. We want to be a part of you while you be a part of us. Again, our relationship will be mutual and very professional. So let's keep it that way. We might not say everything you agree with, but there's a way to disagree. And let's do it mutually and respectfully. Again, Thank you so much. Have a great evening. We'll see you here Friday, 7 p.m. same time, 11 p.m. Liberian time.